The astronauts are coming back to Earth. We may or may not have a ceasefire in Iran. The Strait of Hormuz may or may not be open. Pappas and I spent the day in D.C., and we have local stuff to talk about for, is Gay Pride Month already over? This is the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. New intro right there. Maybe I should just start it with one of those.
You can do that.
That would be like in keeping with what we've done since day one.
There you go.
On the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. But welcome to the podcast. Should we start with the uplifting stuff?
Up to you.
Because I mean, this show has. I mean, I've got a lot of shit I'm pissed off about.
You're pissed off?
I'm highly upset.
I'm highly upset
about a lot of stuff.
You're carrying around a lot of baggage.
No, I'm not carrying any baggage.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Anger.
A lot of stuff I want to get out.
No, I don't.
This is a great outlet for that.
But no, we had a great opportunity yesterday to go to the nation's capital with, I believe the number was 88. 88 veterans. The vast majority of them Vietnam-era veterans.
85.
There was a Korean War veteran and a 4 or 5 Cold War veterans.
Yeah.
So this is an organization called Honor Flight Tri-State that has been doing this since before 2005, but in the sense that they charter an aircraft, put a whole bunch of veterans on there, put a whole bunch of guardians who spend the day with their veterans. They go to D.C.
The fact that you two are guardians cracks me up.
We look at all the memorials.
Actually, I was kind of his guardian yesterday.
No.
We have photograph evidence. Okay.
You will say, fine.
What color shirt was your shirt?
Let's see.
What color shirt was yours?
My shirt was blue.
Okay. That's right.
Which means
what color shirt was mine?
I was going to ask you.
Your shirt was red.
That's right. Red trumps blue.
So there you go. There's Pappas in his wheelchair, and there's me.
For a moment. I was resting for a moment. Notice the doors closed. We're at the airport. However, we have another photograph that the executive director was seen pushing you around the airport.
No one pushed me around.
There it is, right
there's Cheryl Pop.
Cheryl Pop, and there's Dan.
You're posing for a photo.
We gave Dan a special.
So you see all the yellow shirts there. Those are the veterans.
They are.
I was there as a special assistant to the director, Cheryl Pop.
Assistant to the traveling secretary.
I was an assistant to Cheryl Pop.
You're assistant to the traveling secretary.
Which is who?
Well, I'm just saying.
It's not you.
It's from the office.
What's weird? Dano, this was your first. This was your first honor flight.
No, actually, it was my second.
Your second.
Yeah. First one is Dan. Actually, I will say this. I had my doubts. I thought I was going to have to clean up after him. He doesn't listen well. He doesn't remember anything. You can attest to that, right?
That's facts.
I remember the important stuff.
You're you're big picture.
The ephemeral stuff, I just let it go. I don't have a lot of room up there for.
And Dan did a great job. I mean, we had things to get from point A to point B, and things got from point A to point B. And Dan also, I have some candid photographs. Dan, although I will say I don't know anyone that travels with a phone without a charge cord or an extra battery. And then
I did not have a charge cord. That's fact.
And is then surprised when his phone goes dead at the end of the day.
I was wearing my phone out yesterday. I used it quite a bit.
You did. And so Dan actually was doing a solid, and he was I think he had a good time doing it. He was interviewing the veterans.
Well, interviewed a number of veterans.
The reason I asked if it was your first, because we got video footage of how excited Dan was. We got to talk over this, but how excited Dan was to get to go on this trip. And I had to mute it that way we don't get bagged. But
yeah,
I mean, I had no idea you had the
I
fucking
was
moves.
practicing my moonwalk.
He was like I said I'm not picking you up. I will meet you at Kroger, and he was there early.
That was me waiting in the parking lot when
He
Pappas pulled
was
up.
waiting in the parking lot.
Well, what's weird too.
Let's bust a move, Pappas. Let's go.
Well, you're welcome to do that.
All the way to DC.
Well, what's weird too is I didn't realize that you could take guests when you were invited to go on the honor flight to be a guardian, and one of Pappas's girlfriends got in trouble at the airport.
It happens.
I was waiting.
That was.
I told you the bag could only weigh 50 pounds.
Get me out. I'm not going anywhere.
Yes, there was a bit of ugliness at the DC airport yesterday.
I will ask Dan, and Dan can relay this. I will tell you this: it's nice to fly like that. We had our own plane that waited for us all day.
Oh, it's the only way. It's the only way to travel.
It is the only way. And getting through TSA, how would you describe that?
We had special accommodations for, and look, they don't do it for me and you. They do it for the veterans. They do it for these guys.
Honor flight.
No, it's
who serve their country.
It's a great program.
They accommodate them. Just spectacular. And I can tell you, the first honor flight I went on back in 2005, they treated the veterans just atrociously.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who is they?
The TSA.
Oh, TSA.
Because they really they
didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, they were not prepared, and this was still in the early stages of honor flight. So they treated
any
these
of them walk?
veterans.
Do any of them walk? Or are they all in chairs?
No.
I'm asking.
We had.
I'd say 20-30% of them are in wheelchairs.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit more.
I think we had.
Okay.
I think we had 25 wheelchairs.
I mean,
Could be
I've
wrong.
seen.
Okay,
I've seen the
put it up
coming
around
the
30%
homecoming.
for me.
I've seen that, and there's a ton of wheelchairs. I just
Hey,
don't know.
I would say this, and I don't know if it was because Dano did 3 hits on the radio. I think 3, right?
3 hits on the radio yesterday.
So while we were traveling, Dano did 3 hits on the radio yesterday, and you never know what to expect at the airport coming home. But there was a record crowd that was at CVG. So I'd like to, if you made it out to CVG last night, and welcome these guys home, I have to thank you. I don't know why there were so many people, but there were. And it was absolutely amazing to see, the young kids there with the signs.
Who'd you post your picture with? I saw it earlier.
Oh, you wouldn't know. Monty from Say Yes to the Dress, which is Dan's favorite show. And
the fact that, I had no clue.
If any of our female listeners, just if you watch. So there's a show, Say Yes to the Dress, and it's about women picking out wedding dresses, obviously. And this guy's a fashion guy, and he was
trying to convince me he doesn't watch that.
Shut up! I don't.
Do you see?
But he knew all about.
Do you see how he led into it? I mean, I don't watch it. I've never.
My
seen
wife
it.
watches it. My wife watches it. But anyway,
Jill, go on Pappas's Facebook page. You'll see a picture. I had no idea who he was.
But yeah, and look at the responses. People are like going nuts, and it was so funny. And the reason it caught my eye is because as we have our own terminals, we came out, and this guy was standing there. Now, it's not. It is our own kind. It's a public concourse, but it is our. You're going to other gates, right? We have I can't remember. It was A38, and he was standing at the pole clapping for all the veterans coming off the plane.
He was standing at the pole. That's weird.
But my point is, I saw his profile and I go, I think that's him. And my wife likes the show. And by default, I have to suffer through at times when there's nothing, I'm laying in bed trying to sleep. She's watching TV, whatever. I don't have anything to explain. And so I went up to him and I said, Monty, is that you? And he's like, yes. And I said, thank you for honoring these veterans, because that's what he was doing. He was literally standing. He wasn't garnering attention to himself.
But he had nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it. He was apparently flying back to Atlanta from DC.
Oh, that's cool.
And and then I said, my wife is a big fan of the show. And he said, oh, that's great. And he goes, what about you? I go, not so much. I said, not so much.
Well, he was probably fine with that, wasn't he?
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
It's not a guy show.
That's good.
It's not a guy show unless you're Sean Martin. Unless you're Sean Martin here in Anderson Township, it is not. It is not a guy show. I mean, maybe Jason Simmons watches it as well. I'm not sure, but it is definitely not a guy show.
Yeah, but even the folks at Reagan National.
No, were we at Reagan?
Yeah,
we were.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, you had
it
no-
was Reagan National.
Oh yeah, we were Reagan.
Even the folks at Reagan National went the extra mile.
Where's Waldo?
And had a nice group of folks there to welcome the vets when they they came into Reagan.
Oh my God!
Had the decorations.
How
And
about the guy in the
up.
pink suit when we were leaving?
When we were leaving, that guy was tremendous.
That guy was unbelievable.
And so I mean, and they bend over backwards to accommodate these veterans who deserve everything that they got. But the welcome home last night.
513 probably does watch it. I'm sorry, Mickey corrects me. 513 probably subscribes to the channel. You're right.
But the welcome home last night was just outstanding. And that really is the icing on the cake.
It is the cherry on the sundae.
Yeah, when these guys walk up there and you looked at their faces and they were blown away by that.
Well,
I think they expected some people to be there, but the size
there
of
was
that
well
crowd,
over 1,000 people there.
The size of that crowd was tremendous.
And
last night.
and the other thing is, remember, as Dan said, 85 a high percentage, but the majority of them, 85 of them out of 88 were Vietnam veterans. A welcome home they did not get. And
Correct.
Vietnam especially was those veterans. It means so much to them, not that they need the closure, but you know what? It's nice to get it. And when we were at the wall, usually we don't have that many veterans. I mean, I was assisting veterans doing rubbings.
Oh, the etchings.
The etchings, with the names on the wall,
which is really, really, there's an art to doing it and locating the names, because there are just literally so many names, too many names, by far too many names on that wall, helping these guys locate the names. And then, you know, if an etching was really, really high or really, really low, it's hard to get to. And well, that one guy had a list. I mean, there were a couple of guys had lists of several names they wanted.
Yeah, there was one guy, Jason, that I was talking to yesterday, and he was down there with his guardian, and he had a couple of pieces of paper, and he had done the research to find out where these names were, but he had a list, and I said, how many guys you got on that list? He said 30.
Yeah, holy shit.
And I said, why do you have so many names? He said, well, I back in. Graduated from West Point back in, I think it was 67 or 68. And he said, I lost 30 guys out of my class, 30 guys out of one class from West Point.
Yeah.
And there was a park ranger down there who had a ladder. And this guy's
one ladder for the whole wall that I
one
saw.
park ranger. Yeah. But he had this guy going up and down that ladder. And some of those panels are
quite high.
What? 8 feet high, higher than that, maybe 9 feet.
I would say
9,
10, 12 feet.
And, there's a guy second from the left up on the very top row. And the guy jumped up there and did the etching for him. And that guy told me a little bit of his story. But, and then I so many of those Vietnam veterans, they talked about when they came back. One guy came back and got back into California. And he's from Cincinnati, but his first stop was in California.
Oh my God!
And him and some of his buddies got in a car, and they're just going to go get a hamburger or something like that.
Maybe a beer.
He said a brick came through the windshield of his car.
I don't doubt it.
It's disgusting.
And so they said back at the base, they said, "Well, sorry, we should have told you don't go out in your uniform.
So put your suits.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Don't go out in your uniform.
Yeah.
Because they'll be able to the hippies and the ne'er-do-wells and the scumbags of that day. We're out there throwing bricks at these guys.
You mean the precursor to the modern day Democrats? Is that the ones you're talking about?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Because those hippies have now grown up, and what are they?
Like Bernie Sanders.
Correct.
People like that. Dick
and let me say this, Jason.
John Genghis Khan Kerry.
For
Genghis Khan. Reminiscent of
just
Genghis
that we were
Khan.
there. You know what was cool about DC, which was a little bit different? This is the first time. I hadn't been back since post National Guard. National Guard was out on some of the corners patrolling. And you know what? DC seemed cleaner. It seemed safer.
Well, it was hard to tell with all they had assload of construction going on.
They had Jason, construction everywhere. And guess what? Let me say this.
Even in Arlington National Cemetery, we couldn't take some of our normal route through Arlington because there's construction going on there.
So make sure and pay your taxes, folks, because your government is spending it like nobody's business. And there was construction literally all over DC. We had one slight snafu on the way back with a no fault of ours. A bus driver decided to either take a shortcut or not follow the GPS on his phone or the bus in front of him.
He wasn't ready for
And
the day to be over. He wanted to
extend the day a bit.
take the veterans to another attraction, the Smithsonian.
The
airport? No, we're not going to the airport.
We
We're
don't
going
need
to
the
the
airport.
Smithsonian. We're going to.
So yeah, it was a good day, and I'm glad I spent it with Dan. Dan had a great time interviewing, like I said, and I don't know what I guess those interviews, are you going to be transcribing them in some fashion?
I got an email from, and by the way, I want to thank Cheryl and Tom Pop, who run the Honor Flight Tri-State. Just the amount of work that goes. Think about that. 88 veterans, their guardians, the staff. You have to charter a plane. You got to get them to the airport. You got to get them on the airplane. You got to get them through the airport on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get them on a bus. You got to move them around DC. Load the wheelchairs in, get them out, all the rest of that stuff.
Food.
The food. I mean, it is a monumental undertaking, and they do it, and they do it better than any other honor flight in the country.
I think that they.
Yeah.
I
so
think that
a huge thanks to them.
I think that HFTS, we'll call it. I think they do. I think they set the bar. I really do. I think they set the bar because yesterday we and every time I've been, nobody got hurt. Nobody had a medical condition. One young lady was having some trouble with maybe air sickness on the flight. That's all that I saw. One of the guardians, but besides that, that's no one's fault. But when we have primarily Dan's age people and higher as veterans,
I'm not old enough to
shut up.
I'm not old enough to go on an honor flight.
But my point
as a veteran,
when we have older people that we're in charge of, and Jason, you can attest to this, a lot of medical things can happen with 88 people, right?
That's why I keep trying to get on there.
Yeah. And so
continually ignored.
I think you were ignored that.
Got it.
Copy that. It's amazing, knock on wood, that we have not had any serious medical.
No, that's huge in and of itself.
And Arlington was really, and I don't know if it's because, we're back in conflict with Iran, which we're going to talk about. The nation is, for all intents and purposes, at some level of a war, right? I didn't know, it's not necessarily it's not an in-depth war, but it definitely is it seems to be more than a conflict. And Arlington had a special feel for me, at least yesterday, as I was walking around and walking past the graves and looking at the different graves and the names. And that's what I usually do when I'm there. Arlington was just really special yesterday, and it's a special place. And I recommend that if you're in DC, or anywhere near there, if you can go by and pay your respects, and you don't need to know anybody, just go by and say thanks. Go by, pay your respects. Doesn't have to be Arlington for sure. There's cemeteries all over the place, but Arlington, seeing the changing of the guard, we got to lay a wreath. Eric Franz, one of our great ambassadors, has made arrangements for that. And, it was special. I thought it was special.
And Honor Flight Tri-State is really one of the very few organizations that gets that privilege to engage in a wreath laying ceremony.
You have to line it up way in advance. You have to really line it up in advance. And did you notice? I mean, I think I pointed out to you that when the guard was walking, the scuffing of the heel.
Yeah.
Because they don't there's nothing done there that's not planned. And when they scuff the heel, Jason, that is a salute to the veterans that are there.
And I haven't seen it, but that intrigues the shit out of me. And I've read all kinds of just little tidbits, trivia facts. Like, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So those guys that guard the Tomb of the Unknown, they are an entire another level.
The Sentinels.
We could do a whole podcast.
We could. But anyway, so moving on, we do have a lot to talk about, but it was great to have Dan with us. Great that it went over well. First one's under our belt. We have another one coming up in May. And then, if you have something if you feel like supporting a worthy cause, in my mind, Honor Flight Tri-State is definitely one for consideration.
Yeah, but just to wrap it up, you asked me about the recordings that we made.
Yeah. And what are you gonna do? Tom
Pop sent me, and it just popped up on my email right before I came here, so I haven't had a chance to read that, but I'm sure that's what it's about. And so we'll get the recordings to him, and and they'll get the ball rolling on that. It's a legacy project.
Good
that they're working on. So I'm glad to be part of that.
Jason, thanks for asking, and we will definitely keep you up to date on what else transpires with Honor Flight Tri-State.
Honor Flight Tri-State.
Heck yeah. No, I'm glad you guys got to go. You two going together. I thought that was cool.
It wore off pretty quick.
As I figured also that it would. You guys can barely spend an hour in this little enclosed studio.
It was fine. I just got tired of carrying him all over the place. I mean, the guy just, it's
you needed a picture of you carrying a piggyback.
That's not going to happen.
That would have been awesome.
That's not going to happen. But Dan was a good helper, and he was, unfortunately, at one point on the bus, I had to take over the, I guess you would call it MC of the bus, and Dan was the recipient of some of my barbs, but that's okay. Oh,
the vets had a good time.
The vets had a great time.
That's all that matters.
But anyway,
let's go to Iran.
Let's switch gears here.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that shit? I
just
when I pulled a lot of this stuff, obviously it was just happening that they were going to go on a 2-week ceasefire, and I was like, "There's no way that this is going to hold."
They're going to hold.
And then, of course, today, as I was riding in the car, I'm like, "Oh wow, look at that! Shocker!"
Hey man, I got a call yesterday while we were on traveling from a Democrat, or I would say an independent, or I don't know what she is. She's more Democrat than not. And she was distraught. And I saw some subject matter about this. I didn't know we were going to talk. I mean, I knew we were going to talk about it, but not like this. There were people freaking out yesterday that World War III was going to start because Donald Trump had the 8 p.m. deadline that he was going to push the button and erase Iran because he was going to extinct their, what did he say? Going to extinct their,
he's going to wipe out
obliterate a civilization.
An entire civilization.
Now, I can't remember who we were watching last night, but this guy on I think it was Jesse Waters. He was like, "You know what? I'm kind of disappointed." He goes, I was looking forward to Power Plant and Bridge Day." And I about fell off the fucking couch.
Well, I mean,
I didn't want to see any of that, but the way he was a veteran, he was a Delta Force guy, and you could tell he's a hard charger. And he was like, "No," he's like, "I think it's bullcrap. We're letting them get away with too much."
Well, it can be argued that this was a long day coming, and my comment to the person that called me yesterday, that was maybe like some of our people here listening were like, "I'm scared World War III is going to start. He's crazy and blah blah." Well, I was like, you know what? If he wanted to start World War III, he could have done it already. Could have done it on day one.
Exactly.
I mean, nothing's stopping. There's no clock here that his brain levels are slipping that he's going to start it next week. He could start it now.
Well, and everybody forgets that. I mean,
the guy's all about negotiation.
He's a fucking businessman by trade, right?
It's all about negotiation, and it's all posturing. Don't get me wrong.
But he's also no bullshit.
He is. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes, and I'm a Trump guy, probably more than most that I know. And sometimes he's, when he speaks,
you got
I'm
that
like,
sticker on your car.
I do have several, but I mean, when he speaks, sometimes I'm like, oh, did you have to say it like that?
Oh, there's plenty of times, yeah.
And did you have to say that exactly? I mean, I like pushing buttons. It's what I do. I like to push people's buttons per se. And if I know it bothers you, I'm going to do it more. Mm-hmm. If I
trust me, we know.
Well, but sometimes if I like you, I'll push your buttons, and sometimes if I hate you, I'll push. So you never know if I like you or hate you. But I'm pushing buttons. The guy,
he's not a good poker player.
I'm not. Oh, I'm horrible. But the guy is. The guy's the president of the United States. So I'm like, chill a bit. Take it down.
The Drinking Bros today. I was listening on my way back from work, and Dan Holloway. I mean, he said it best. He was like, had he said, "I'm going to obliterate a regime," that would have garnered way more favor than a civilization. And it was like, fuck, dude. And they were like, words matter. And he's absolutely correct.
He is right.
But so it's like whoever fucking, and again, I feel sorry for his fucking speechwriters.
Nobody wrote, because let me tell you, nobody wrote that.
But I'm saying 9 times out of 10, the speeches that are written for him that they've spent 3 days to do,
follow it.
He tosses it in the fucking trash.
Let me tell you something. Well, at the convention, I could see the teleprompter. It was positioned. It was a big teleprompter. I was seated nothing special, but I was kind of behind. Actually, I didn't like my seat, but I was kind of off to the side behind, and they had a giant TV way out against the wall. And so you could see the teleprompter. Dude, I'm just telling you.
These poor fuckers, they spend all this time to write
what
it.
it says.
It's more of an idea. And and then the funny part is that
All right, we're going improv, Mr. President. Go ahead.
but then the prompter starts jumping around because the guy's like, oh fuck, where is he? And then it's kind of like it starts going up and down. And he wings it, and I think he's winging it a bit too much. Maybe I don't know.
No, I agree with you.
You mentioned that
I like what we're doing.
How long is this ceasefire going to last? It hasn't seen. I mean, they were dropping bomb or missiles on Israel already. Now they're saying the straits are open, they're closed, they're open, they're closed. I mean,
right.
who knows, right?
And the last I saw, and I pulled it up, is that it's closed now.
Well, I don't know what to believe.
Because Lebanon's getting bombed by Israel, but Lebanon supposedly wasn't in the ceasefire agreement.
But
Iran says it was.
At the same time, we are sending J.D. Vance and a bunch of high-level people to Pakistan to meet with high-ranking Iranians to try to negotiate some sort of lasting resolution to this. Now, can that happen? Why are they going then? I mean, seriously, someone must think that it's happening, or it can happen, or someone might want it to happen on both sides, or else why would they go? So I'm holding out hope, but at the same time, I'm kind of the mindset, and you tell me if you agree with this. Look, man, we've started this. We have the opportunity to fundamentally, my goal, as I said a couple of shows ago, is regime change. I think we need a fundamental difference in who is running Iran. Whether we bring back the prince and have it transition to some sort of quasi-democracy, I'm not sure what form of government would work over there. That's up to them. But I don't think a theocracy is a long-term solution for Iran, because I think all them we're doing is creating new radicals that are going to be even more crazy next time, and they'll hide. They'll way subtly, they're behind the scenes. They'll either buy a bomb from somebody and then have revenge on the great Satan.
We are watching the worst divorce arbitration hearing ever.
Well, Pete Hicks said today that Iran is under a new regime. So
now,
he said that today.
Okay,
well, a new regime with quote, a new calculus about negotiating with the United States. So on one hand, I think there is something going on behind the scenes that we are not privy to, and I certainly hope there is, because look, I don't want to see Trump drop nukes on Iran, even though that was the common phrase back in the day when they were holding American hostages and Americans were being killed around the world by the state sponsor of terrorism. So I think it's going to change. It's a frustrating situation, but this is sort of par for the course for Trump. The way he did, there's an element of chaos into just about everything that he does. And right now, I'm just putting my chips on that Trump has a long-term vision for this, has it in his mind the way this whole thing is going to play out, and he's done it on multiple occasions. And so my chips are on the fact that he is going to pull this off once again. I wasn't totally surprised that there wasn't the heat of the sun brought to bear on Iran at 8:00 last night.
A very bright light.
Yeah, off in the distance. But that didn't happen. I really, in my heart of hearts, I didn't think he was going to do something like that. But it's amazing the way that he's playing the media on this, because all day yesterday and leading up to this, what they do? Well, he's a war criminal, 25th Amendment. He needs to be taken down right away. Yeah. I mean,
but everything that Iran's doing, putting civilians around the power plants and in positions of targets.
Well, they're the war criminals.
They're doing it.
Yeah,
on multiple levels.
When you're going to put human shields out there like that, that makes you a war criminal.
That's something else Holloway fucking said, and he quoted the actual fucking code. And he goes, "This is one code. Here's another code, and here's another code that they're violating."
Yeah, they
Well, they wanted to say Trump was going to be a war criminal because he was talking about targeting bridges, talking about targeting their power plants,
Desalination plants.
yeah, all that kind of stuff. And that I saw a post today on my X feed, and I've got it right here. And the person who posted this, right? Zelensky bombed the Kerch Bridge connecting Crimea with the mainland,
right.
3 times. Zelensky bombed a thermal power plant and an electrical substation. Zelensky bombed Russian oil refiners. Zelensky bombed these other Russian power plants. Zelensky raided churches, and I mean, this entire list of all this stuff that Zelensky has done. How many times did the Democrats refer to him as a war criminal?
I'll take 0.
Yeah, I think 0. Yeah, they never it never once suggested that he was a war criminal or guilty of any kind of crimes. In fact, they were all about sending him even more money and more munitions and more of, and even toyed with the idea of having Americans on the ground in support of not Iran but Ukraine.
The Democrat Party with their and aided and abetted by liberal media are so quick to use terms like war criminal when they they don't really understand what it means.
Well, no.
And let me ask you a question.
It sounds good. It's a good talking point.
Let me ask you a question.
So AOC can go out there and Jasmine Crockett and Nancy Pelosi.
Not that it's correct. What would they call then? I mean, what would the situation be if World War II was taking place today, and we are firebombing Dresden, and we are firebombing Tokyo? You know, those weren't military targets. Tokyo was a wooden city. We knew it. We firebombed Tokyo. Okay, more people were killed during that than Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now, people don't remember that because the whole city burned, but we were bombing civilian targets and civilian cities, whole cities. And this is during World War II when, you didn't know where the bomb went when you dropped it. You just, you opened up the doors and see you later, pal. You're over.
You hope somebody's math was fucking really good.
Well, you're like, I'm over Munich or wherever, and you're just dropping bombs. So I'm not saying it's right.
Hey, Cap, how fast we going? Okay, hold on. Let me wet my pencil real quick. All right, we got to go now.
So my point in mentioning that's not to say we're the bad guys per se, but that was total war. And in war, you know what? I'm not a military per se expert. I would say that bombing a bridge, I don't think that would be considered a war crime. Bombing a school, yes. Bombing churches, yes. But they use these terms, war crimes. I mean, according to whom? According to you? By your definition, it's a war crime?
It's opinion because it's listed.
I mean, power plants, I think, are probably a real and on war criminalistic
How many times have we heard
legitimate target
that if the United States gets attacked, what are they going to do? They're going to go after the power grid.
Right.
Because if you shut off the power grid, you cut off communications. Pappas doesn't have Facebook.
Excuse me one second.
They're going down the drain.
I have a backup generator.
You may not be able to access Facebook.
I'll access.
There would be hell to pay.
I will access.
Well, there's audio clips out there of Hillary when she was running for president, stating that if Iran was going to start trying to get their nukes up and going, she was going to bomb them. And I literally heard it today.
Stone Age, sure.
So,
but that's okay, Dan. That's all right.
Sure, if Hillary does it.
I'm so annoyed that we have some Republicans that are even tossing words around like 25th Amendment, and I'm just like, I don't know. I get tired. I feel like you get exhausted swinging at so many enemies. You're like tired. You got the left, you've got the press, you've got even now some in your party that are, lukewarm support for you to begin with. And then as soon as the winds begin to waffle a little bit, they turn on you. Hospitals, schools, definitely unacceptable. But again, like Israel was having problems, and Jill Billy's right. Israel, was blowing up tunnels and whatnot in the Middle East because Hezbollah was using them as shields. They were putting not bases, but offices and tunnels under the schools and under the hospitals and using those as shields. So how do you attack this? I don't want the United States to start dropping bombs on hospitals and schools in Iran. But at the end of the day, I think power plants, if we make if we somehow have to make it untenable for the regime to stay in power. And so, I mean, dude, we'll see what happens. We got 2 weeks, theoretically. I think that this weekend I think Saturday is a big day. And I have the utmost confidence in the fact that instead of Kamala Harris instead of jazz hands Tim Walz going to Pakistan to negotiate with the Iranians, I have a very good. I want you to soak that in for a moment. We have a very competent and very articulate and very smart J.D. Vance that's going to go represent the interests of the United States over there and deal one-on-one with the negotiations with the Iranians. Hopefully, it will turn out well. Time will tell, man. It's Wednesday.
Yeah. Today's Wednesday.
I'm trying to look at like the articles that have hit since I posted that other one, but I'm like, I just typed in, is the fucking Strait of Hormuz open or what? Like, are we open this hour and closed next hour? Like, where the fuck are we? Because
when
it's a fluid situation.
The announcements
totally
came
is.
out yesterday, right? While we were on the trip, and then they said gas prices or the price of crude plummeted to like $70, but I haven't seen anything at the pump yet. They're like, but it might not come down at the pump. I'm like, well,
it always takes longer because that's
are,
what they fucking bought it for.
You guys are so quick to jack it up when there's a crisis, but as soon as that crisis or the day is over, you certainly don't crank it on down. So I was slightly annoyed at that, but again, it's freaking April.
The Dow jumped 1,300 points.
Correct, but it's April. I'm willing to give it. I'm a very loyal, I'm a very America First loyal person. I'm willing to give it a little more time to see if this comes out and works, because I think that long term, I think we're in I think a stable, nuclear-free Iran, okay, without a theocracy running the country, a bunch of crazy people, with death to Israel and death to America as their primary tenet, is probably a better thing long term for my life and the people younger than me's lives than status quo like we have been going. And I'm willing to give them more time. And I wish a lot of Republicans, since this is your president in office, had that same mindset. That's my position.
Well, and
it's a good position.
And what it comes down to is
thank you, Dan.
Let them do the work that they have to do.
Let it work.
Yeah.
And like Dan said, there's a lot going on in the background that we don't know about. We're not going to know about. We don't need to know about.
And don't be frickin' chirping from the cheap seats. And don't be micromanaging, and don't be Monday morning quarterbacking this thing.
Chuck Schumer was out there today saying that the whole thing is a complete and utter failure.
Well, Chuck Schumer Chuck Schumer would say that regardless.
Well, sure he would.
Chuck Schumer would say that regardless. I think that one reason you can claim regime change is pretty much everybody in the regime has been killed by Israel. So, I mean, by definition, it's partially true that it's regime change, because none of the old guys are still around. They've all been killed by whatever.
Fucking 2.5 rounds worth.
I mean, they have been, the Israelis have been not messing around with targeting the regime. But, like I want all those people that have been quietly waiting, that they killed 30,000 people, I think, something like that initially. I think it was 30,000. I could be wrong.
It might be 40 or 45,000.
Okay, so that's a lot of people. So my point is, a lot of people took part in those protests, and they're waiting quietly. They've been told to wait. They've been told to not rise up yet, and the prince is waiting to make his return. Like I said, I would like there to be some more movement on that. But when it's right, I mean, I don't want to see these people rise up, march in the street, and get mowed down by the RRGC forces as well. I don't want a bloodbath.
So,
well, I think Democrats are all right with that.
Well, if it helps,
yeah, because it's going to go on his hands.
If it helps let me tell you something. My personal opinion: if it helps the Democrats' chances in the midterms, they're for it. No matter what, no matter blood,
from hell or high water,
and that's where I draw the line. I am not the kind of guy, and that's the difference between me and maybe 513. I am not the kind of guy that's like win at all costs. The ends to me do not sometimes justify the means. And to the left, the ends always justify the means, and that's the God's honest truth. That's where we're at. So there we go.
So segueing in. There's no real good way to segue, but
Pivoting.
I'm going to pose a
Pivoting.
question. I'm going to pose a question to you two because you two are old. Do you feel that we landed on the moon?
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, seriously?
100%.
Oh, here we go.
Are you kidding me?
I'm just asking a question.
I mean, is there any doubt that we landed on the moon?
Well, some people think there is.
Well, some people used to think the Earth was flat and still do.
And I was just going to say there's still flat earthers out
There's
there.
still
too.
flat earthers out there, and I mean, whatever. I mean, just whatever. I mean, I'm not even going to have this. That's right. Who set up the camera? I mean, I'm not going to have this discussion. I just don't think it's. I mean, when people have stupid opinions, does it help to engage them?
All I did was ask you a question.
I know, but
I didn't ask you to engage in discussion. I just asked a
nuts
question.
when I hear this, and people are like, "We never really, that was all a big hoax. We didn't land on the moon." The amazing thing,
I'll tell you why I do love to dive into their arguments, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I love to look at their so-called photographic evidence. I like to
the sound stage in Arizona.
The sound stage,
the bottom of the boots.
Yeah,
Look,
why
the
can't
footprints are different than the bottom of the boot.
Can't see any stars in the background, all that kind of stuff. I love to explore their arguments in detail because I want to know exactly what they're saying, but there's no question
Anytime
that we landed on the moon.
Anytime anybody
back in 1969
argues that point, I'm like, well, and I don't remember the year, but India had put a satellite up, and took pictures of the fucking the landers.
Yeah.
I mean, there were pictures, and it came from a different country.
I know.
It wasn't like, hey guys, look, we put a satellite
that's
up.
What you call a conspiracy, buddy.
Oh, dude, it's fucking hilarious. It cracks me up.
So when we do go back, which they are, and right now Artemis is
apparently very, very soon.
A year, I think it's next year.
Like towards the end of 27.
Well, they got it. They had a problem on Artemis. I mean, this is good documented. They did have a problem on Artemis.
Yeah,
apparently
the shitter was full.
The shitter was full, Clark. And
you can put a man on the moon, but you can't make a shitter toilet.
And you know what I love?
What's that?
It was the female.
It was the woman that fixed it.
The female was the engineer. She was the plumber. She fixed it.
I mean,
God bless her.
Let me ask you a question. And this
that's an important skill set in space.
No, it's great. I think it's awesome that the female fixed it.
Does shit smell in space? I imagine it probably does, right?
That's a good question.
I mean, that's a pretty closed compartment.
We should try to get an astronaut on
do you
here.
think
Very close quarters.
I wonder if they have skyline in the bag for those guys.
That's like, I mean, can you imagine the three of us in a room smaller than what we're sitting right now? What's the round trip? 148 hours, whatever.
Dan Carroll would not be an astronaut. I'll tell you that. I would not want to be an astronaut with this guy. I barely wanted to sit in the seat on a plane near him. But I mean, at the end of the day,
Dan would be like, "Oh shit, I farted in my suit."
We did have a lot of leg room, though. That was nice.
We did have the exit row. But they have a lot of bugs still to work out on this thing. The pair heard the temperature regulation was a little bit of an issue, like the thermostat was stuck, and the toilet was messed up and or not functioning as well as it should have. And I'm like, that when I heard that, I was like, that really sucks. Because
are they defecating in bags up there?
I have no idea.
I heard that they were.
I don't know how they do it.
How do you poop in a bag?
Well, you're in space. You got to make it happen.
It's going all over the place. What are you doing? You're reaching up. You're grabbing.
That one got away from it.
You better catch that baby Ruth.
You got so bad.
It's not so bad.
You got incoming 430 low.
That's right. got a floater.
Got a missile.
I mean, I know the dudes piss in a tube, and I think the women have like a shiwi, a modified shiwi, where that's like a cup that catches.
I mean, I would think that some sort of suction device. Why? And let me ask you a question. And this is a great question for maybe people know. Why can't you just, I mean, do they collect it and why can't you just dump it out into space? I mean, are we polluting space? Is it going to become space hazard?
We've been doing that for years.
If you're hit by a turd missile, like at 2,000 miles an hour, is that a hazard? I don't know the answers here.
You're out doing a spacewalk, you get a big smear across your fucking geyser.
I mean, but you're sitting there and like, oh God, I'm hit. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer to these questions.
I'm intrigued. I mean, I'm intrigued by space anyway. And
would you just evacuate that out and it just kind of goes away?
Well, they did it in Apollo 13. They're like, Ooh, the constellation Orion.
Oh, they did?
Because they let the piss go out then.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. See, things you know by watching TV. I did not know that.
Yeah.
But I could see that.
I don't know what you do with the solid.
I could see that in 2026. They're probably like, we can't pollute space, so we have to bring that shit home.
Fucking Democrats fucking lose their shit. Bring back Greenpeace.
Spaceballs has a new meaning, Tyler, for the win here. I mean, seriously, So of all the things that have been, I'm sure this is a new spacecraft, and they've got some debugging. That's why they didn't go directly to the moon. But
to be able to go around the back of the moon the way they did, as far out as they did, she is the first female to be that far away from Earth.
This is the furthest we've been into space, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that America's doing it, and
I got a cool video of the president talking to them.
Thinking you can play it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see a video. President Trump.
Yeah.
All right.
That president.
Well, he is president.
As opposed to who are you hoping?
Well, I'm just.
Zelensky.
What was the president's name in fucking Spaceballs? I was gonna say, but I couldn't grab it.
I don't remember.
Well, America, really proud, incredibly proud. We have a lot of things to be proud of lately, but this is there's nothing like what you're doing, circling around the moon for the first time in more than a half a century, and breaking the all-time record for the farthest distance from planet Earth. Humans have really never seen anything quite like what you're doing in a manned spacecraft. It's really special. I want to personally salute and congratulate Commander Reed Weissman, Pilot Victor Glover, Mission Specialist Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. And I also want to thank the entire amazing team at NASA, headed by Jared, who's a very special guy, by the way. And you all made this day possible, and you've really inspired the entire world. Really, everybody's watching. You've made history.
I wish I'd have grabbed the other clip where they made the first two-way call to another ship. So as they were going by the space station, coming back,
cool.
They were like, and I'm being funny, but they're like, "All right, fuckers, deuces, we're going home. You'll see Earth in like 180 fucking days." But no, they had a two-way call. It was the first time that's ever happened.
I don't think they've passed up the space station yet.
No, it's
on the way back.
I think they were coming at them. They were close because they're back in the Earth's orbit, and I don't know the distances.
When do they come
but
home?
They called the space station. It was a two-way call.
Hey,
it's the first time it's ever
happened. They're splashing down Friday evening.
Let me give you this fun fact.
I don't think they're back in Earth orbit yet, though.
No, I literally fucking read it.
Let me give you this. When did they splash down? This weekend or when? I don't even know. Jason, when did they come home?
I'm trying to remember because it was a 10-day trip and they're at 8 days.
Okay, so before this weekend, so Friday maybe. Let me give you this little tidbit, and Jason has this picture, and he might share it when he gets done with that. But so, how much did Artemis cost? Does anyone know? Top of their head.
Is it a couple of billion?
$4 billion.
$4 billion. All right. Okay.
And they've traveled how many miles?
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're splashing down April 10th.
Okay.
It's gonna wind up being about 500,000 miles.
695,000 miles.
All right.
Let me ask you another question. How much money has the California bullet train under Gavin Newsom spent?
Oh shit, let me get to that.
Oh, that's like 600 billion, isn't it?
$126 billion.
$126 billion. Okay.
There we go.
And how many miles has it traveled?
0.
Correct. So for those of you that want to, that might bemoan or say we don't need to go back to the moon, or there it is right there. We don't need to go back to space. I think we're getting a better return on our dollar with miles traveled, at least. I don't know if they get frequent flyer miles for that, but I'm excited from the point of view is, Jason, you don't remember the space program, right? You're too young.
I remember. I started remembering Challenger.
You remember? Yes, you don't remember the moon. You remember
correct
the space shuttle.
The moon was 10 years before I was born.
Correct. So Dan and I can remember. When was the last moon? Somebody might correct me. When was the last moon landing? It was 70 something.
I want to say it was 1974. I think. I know Eugene Cernan was the last astronaut to step foot on the moon.
So clearly, Dan and I remember the moon, watching them on the moon.
Yeah,
and it really did. I mean, you think about the number of kids that it shaped their lives. I mean, people were like, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. And that, not that the space shuttle was different, but the moon is kind of, it's kind of, it's another planet. Obviously, it's our moon, but I mean, it's a bit more than the space shuttle or even the space station. So I think this is going to do, I think the technology they're going to learn, I think that this will trickle down into everyday life at some point. And I think it puts America back on the map, because now everyone is looking at America as leading the space race, because who can do this other than America?
I was talking about that.
Well, hold on. I did misspeak.
What's that?
But I was partially wrong.
What's that?
It says still aglow from their triumphant lunar flyby. The Artemis 2 astronauts made more history Tuesday, calling their friends aboard the International Space Station hundreds of thousands of miles away as they headed home. But they had already gotten out of the moon's grasp, and I guess they're in that fucking limbo period.
Yeah.
So I misspoke. I apologize.
So they're going to splash down off the coast of California. Is that correct?
I believe that's the plan.
Okay.
Off the coast of California. But no, I was talking about that on my radio show a week or so ago. That when I was a kid, my parents had Life magazine around the house, and Life magazine back then did extensive coverage of the Gemini missions, of the Apollo missions, and all that. And I just remember sitting there for hours and going through those magazines and reading the stories, looking at pictures of the space program, and it was absolutely mesmerizing.
It really was,
and to see those unbelievable color photographs, and I still have that image in my mind of Ed White and the very first spacewalk that he did, and I thought that was like just the coolest thing I could ever imagine. There's the guy up in space, tethered to a spacecraft, and he's floating out there in space, and you see the Earth in the background.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely unbelievable.
Every one of those people, male or female, have balls the size of fucking church bells.
I would
absolutely.
That scares the shit out of me.
Absolutely.
I have no interest in ever going into zero gravity, because I think I would just vomit the entire time, because
it happens.
I would have no doubt that it does, because I even get motion sickness. But like, you ever been on a plane in free fall for a second, like when you hit a pocket or something like that, and you get that oh shit feeling? It's got to be like that nonstop.
That's the fun part.
No,
that's the fun part.
Should try it in a helicopter sometime.
No. Oh, well, no, it's not like that,
because you hit pockets where the blades
not catching anything,
don't bite the air,
and it's
the way
just
they're
like
supposed
straight
to,
down,
and you bottom out a little bit.
No,
yeah.
You ever toss your cookies?
No, I never did. I had people that told me when I first started flying in the helicopters, oh, you're going to be up there, you better have your sick sack. You're going to be barfing the whole time. Never once. Not a problem.
Huh. Amazing.
Not a problem.
No, I would not want to. I would not. Homie does not. It sounds really cool, them floating around, la da da, your turds flying all over the place. But no, I am not. I am
the
not.
turds flying. It's not. That's not the.
I don't think that's the goal.
You don't want that.
I don't think that's the goal. But I have no desire. But I am looking forward to. I hope that in our lifetime, my lifetime, which hopefully I'm old enough to live or have enough left, that I can see some sort of permanent or at least temporary moon base. I think that would be really freaking cool.
See, but the bigger question, though, I think is this going to be something that Americans can find
rally
common
around?
ground?
No, Americans can't find common
absolutely
ground.
not.
Can we come together on at least this one thing?
No.
That these astronauts are good people. They are courageous beyond belief.
Well, is this really happening, or is this in a studio in California?
Well, there's going to be some people that are going to try to put that out there.
So that should answer your question.
Now that we have AI, it's all going to be AI driven. And
answer your question right there.
You're an AI expert. Look at our new open for the One Morning I'm Out of Here.
Oh, here we got to play an ad real quick, and then Andrew, you'll have 4 minutes. You will have 4 minutes to talk about your local stuff.
Oh, got it.
Every 2 minutes, a child enters foster care in America. Behind each statistic is a face, a story, and often a heartbreaking message. It's not my fault. The Varner Foundation for Children and Families was created in 2020 to change this reality. They don't just raise awareness about the foster care crisis, they take action. When local agencies can't meet a child's need, the Varner Foundation steps in. From providing essential resources to foster families to supporting children who've experienced trauma, they're building a network of hope. Every donation, every partnership, every act of support creates ripples of healing in a child's life. These aren't just statistics, they're futures being restored. One child at a time. Visit varnerfoundation.org and be the difference in a child's life, where 100% of all donations go directly to families in need. 100%. Because every child deserves to know you matter, you're valued, and it's not your fault.
Dissolve on.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
dissolve is?
I just don't be the technical.
Andrew, you did.
I'm just saying, it's called a dissolve. Have it dissolve onto the screen.
Dan is critiquing
And I'm
my AI work, but he's offering constructive criticism.
yeah,
and
that's
I'm
the
going-
it was
I'm
very
going-
well done.
It was meant in the spirit of love, and I'm going to take it as such. But you know what?
Constructive criticism.
Speaking of love, there is a there's an effort here in the township. How'd you like that?
That was yeah.
That was good, huh?
We believe that
Love is love. Love is love. Love is love. So
and we should support it with your taxpayer dollars.
and that's correct. Now,
Not our dollars.
well,
Yeah, but your
not
dollars.
your dollars,
Yes.
because we don't make dollars. We spend your dollars.
So Jason, yesterday when we were in DC, I don't want another. Yeah, when we were in DC, Cheryl had a bag of cookies.
Oh my god!
And she said, "Hey, go see if people on the bus want to have a cookie." And I'm walking up and down the aisle. I'm like, "Hey, who wants a cookie?" And I was like, "This is fun. I'm giving away other people's stuff. It's not my
I
stuff."
felt like a politician.
But can I have more than one? Take as many
Take
as
as
you
much-
want.
It's all free. So that's kind of how our new trustees are here in Anderson Township, where we have.
I didn't pay for the cookies. Hey, have as many as you want.
We have our new trustees have apparently that now the new policy in Anderson is going to be, and I don't know if they're going to go through with it because they're getting some feedback from residents that aren't in favor of this. Now, let me ask you guys a question because I talk pretty plain. Of Anderson Township, a population, there's about 40,000. I think it's now 45,000 people here. Okay. Of that population, that universe, what percentage would you say might be LBTGQ plus minus question mark divided by?
My honest assessment of that is I don't care.
No, that's not the point. But I'm saying
I know.
Okay,
But
give me a
I
number.
don't care. I would
know you don't
say
care. 5.
less than. I would say less than 5. I don't know, 3-4%.
Okay.
Maybe.
I was going to go 5 to 10 to be honest with you.
5 to 10.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
a pretty high number.
I'm just
I
but I
mean,
don't
what
know.
is the national average? I don't know. Maybe 513 knows because he skews it. But I mean, the
Well,
I
the
would say
argument that I hear from the left all the time is this is only 0.01% of the population. Why do you care so much about?
I care when you start taking. So what we're talking about is our local trustees now are being pressured by a local liberal group here called.
You just want to attack people who aren't like you.
East.
As of 2024, a Gallup poll was 9.3% of U.S. adults.
U.S. adults. Okay, so then let's just say that there's 9.3% of the population
Fine.
of Anderson. Okay, let's just say that. I'll give you that. That's probably not the Midwest, and I think California might skew that number a little on the high side, right? Yeah. So, I mean, in the Midwest, I would say the population, the percentage probably lower. Call me a skeptic. I'm just saying, but that makes sense to me.
I'd buy into that.
But at the end of the day, when you start spending my dollars for things that I might be against either on religious or moral grounds, or I don't think is a good waste of public funds, you're going to hear me squeak.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a group here called Eastside Pride that is trying to pressure the township into, and they have a picnic every year at St. Timothy's, and it's called Pride Day. I think it's Pride Day. And all your radical leftists go over there and they all giggle and glee and whatever they do at this thing. And they have it at St. Timothy's Church. And I've never really said one thing about it.
I say knock yourself out. Have a great time.
Have a great time. Hey, and have fun and whatever. Don't care. But now, since they have put these trustees in office and own them literally, they are now pressuring the trustees that they did at an interim meeting where usually business like this does not attend because there's no videos of interim meetings. I don't know if you knew that. There's no videos.
I actually just
transcript.
learned that.
Yeah. So under the quiet auspices of no video evidence, they did this for 3 hours, kept them there an extra 3 hours.
Which usually an interim meeting is maybe an hour at the most.
Maybe
correct?
an hour at the most, turned into a 4 hour, 3 or 4 hour, whatever fest. Love fest. And now they're pressuring the trustees to not only have support in all township publications, have township staff in the form of fire and EMS there on hand waiting, have police directing traffic.
Waiting for what?
I don't know. Having police there directing traffic, because apparently this is going to be a really big event at a township park. I'm sure probably they're free of cost. If they want to rent the park, that's fine. I don't care. Rent the park. I could give 2 shits. But
Is that common practice to rent the park to groups that want to use it for their events?
I couldn't tell. I think any group I think any group can approach the township or the parks board and rent like a pavilion. They have pavilions for rent. So yes, I think
they have the same ability to rent that.
Well, if they pay for it, they rent and pay for it,
like any other group.
like any group.
Okay, all right.
But if I were to rent it, do I get police and fire protection?
No, you do not.
No.
You have to pay for it.
You pay for it.
And then the other thing is that they want, this is the part that really pisses me off. I mean, if you really want to cut through the bullshit. So they want, and I was thinking this as we were in DC. I'm in DC with veterans, a lot of great Americans such as Dan Carroll here. And we are, we have Veterans Day. We have Memorial Day and Veterans Day, right? Two big deals. And they're separate events. Veterans Day is really for veterans. Memorial Day is to honor those who passed away. People lose sight of that, but that's what it is.
Right.
So we have one day, right?
The key word being day.
Day. So we have now Gay Pride Month, not a day,
Not day.
a month.
Month.
So they want to take,
Is that more than a day?
that's a lot of days. And they want to take,
You're the one that wanted to get out of here. You keep interrupting them.
They
your
want
fault.
to take the freaking banners. We have banners down 5 Mile on the street poles, and they want to put rainbow flags up on those and maintain them for a month at township expense.
Wait. If they want to put up banners,
We have
that
banners.
promote their
Correct.
thought or organization or whatever. Do they have the ability to pay for that if they
They didn't offer the ability to pay for it. And second thing is,
then that offer ought to be declined.
So the second thing is this: if I went to the township, hold on a second. If I went to the township and I said, "Hey, listen, we have a group here that, let's just say, I don't know, Charlie Kirk's group, Turning Point USA. I think it's a great group. It's really good. We're going to have a conservative month. Can we have the township put up in your publications with your logo on there? I want to have free publications. I want it on all your LED signs for free. I also want to have banners made to hang down 5 Mile that says, God bless Charlie Kirk, or give to Turning Point USA, or whatever, or let's just say, is there a straight pride month? Do we get a month for straight pride, for heterosexual pride?
Why don't we have Charlie Kirk story time hour for kids?
So my deal is, it is just unbelievable how quickly you've put radical leftists in charge. And mind you now, they didn't run on any of this shit. None of this was mentioned in any of their campaign material at all. But as soon as they get in, within 3 short months, not only are they, number one, lobbying the state for public funds for a project that they crawled up the other trustees' ass about, which is Riverbend, right? Mm-hmm. Now they're lobbying the state for $2 million extra dollars for Riverbend. That are big fans. Now, then also, remarkably, during an interim meeting, they had a coordinated, and don't tell me it wasn't, because I know it was, they had a coordinated, I would call it like an ambush of staff to say, hey, look, we have the East Side Pride wants to give you a presentation on the economic impact to Anderson Township that bringing the East Side Pride Day picnic to Anderson Township is going to be. Right. Now, let me ask you a question, because I'm not a smart person, but I'm pissed. What kind of economic impact is going to happen in Anderson Township for a picnic at one of our parks for East Side Pride? What do you see it being a big deal? Are we going to be San Francisco of the Midwest now? What is the goal with this?
They might sell some coolers at the drive-through.
You want to do it on your nickel at your place, wherever you want to rent a park place. You want to pay for an officer, have at it. Take use of our public facilities.
I would say that to any group.
Correct.
Yes,
but
any group.
Get your goddamn hand out of my pocket. You got in office, you put these people in power, and secretly now you think you have keys to the kingdom and keys to the coffer, and I'm going to pay for it. Bullshit. I'm going to fight you.
Yes.
And all the good people of Anderson Township are going to fight you because now you're proving to be nothing more than a bunch of radical leftists who lied to get in office and are pushing your bullshit on the rest of us. And I'm done with it.
Where's the Tylenol?
There you
I've
go.
said it.
Just like Christmas vacation. I love it.
I'm glad we started off on a high note.
Fuck that.
And Jill said they could do a GoFundMe.
They could do a GoFundMe.
They could.
You can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like any other group.
private groups can do whatever they want. What I don't like is when they feel, and I'll finish on this note. When I was in office, and I hate saying that, but I'm good at saying that because I have experience. When I was in office for 8 years, you never saw me pushing the township to support some sort of conservative thing that I didn't have any conservative cause I wanted the township to support. I represented all the people, not just a certain segment of people that are the loud, squeaky, stinky wheel.
Well, you were involved with the Tea Party at that time.
Yeah, did I do anything?
I mean, well, I'm saying what and how many cash outlays did the township make to support the Tea Party?
Zero.
And that's the
Any-
thing.
Any of the
If-
Tea Party
zero.
events.
If you wanted to do
Did
something,
Tea Party
you
ever
did
have
it.
picnics?
Zero.
No picnics.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
Were
if
you welcome
if
at
you
St.
wanted to
Timothy?
do something, you did it on your own. You figured out a way to do it the right way.
I think the Republicans one time rented a pavilion at one of our parks, and we had a Republican picnic at our expense without police, without fire,
Yeah.
without traffic control, without anything. But the East Side Pride, run by Jessica Cunningham or whoever's the hell's running it right now, is such a big event that we need police and fire protection, and we need to put placards up, and you need to change your signs because it's not a day, Dan. It's not one day event. It's a month-long celebration.
But it goes so fast.
It's a celebration, Andrew.
Don't piss me off.
It's
I'm
a
already pissed off.
celebration.
You know, and we can't do anything. God forbid we put banners up for, I don't know. What is this year? The 250th celebration of this country? Well, we're not going to do that because that's political. according
That's
to our
racist.
School board.
That's
No,
racist.
our school board is dictating.
Don't want to have that.
That's
in-
political. We can't
don't
have
wanna
that
in the school.
Can't have that. That's political. We're going to do our own celebration. But East Side Pride, hey, come on in. We're great. The water's fine. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on it.
All right.
Bullshit.
On that note, Dano's got an important dinner date.
Yes, I did.
Date night.
Date night.
My wife misses me.
I mean, I miss you when you're gone,
She's a good woman.
but then when you're gone, I'm like, oh, okay, that was good. I'm fine with it. I think we talked about Friday.
Okay,
Friday's the next one.
should be good.
Right around 6:00, same time. If we can go earlier, I will let you know. But Friday, 6:00, we'll be back. We appreciate you guys. Remember Varner Foundation. We didn't get the Murphy engraving, but he's been on a ton, but we'll get him next time.
Hit the like button.
Hit the like button, subscribe,
like
tell a
button.
friend, and buy some Tylenol for Andrew because, God, he's going to have an aneurysm.
Fuck that.
Oh,